Have you ever stopped to think about the secret life of, well, everything you own? That phone in your hand, the car in your driveway, every single one has a story. A story that was written, moment by moment, on a factory floor. Today, we're going to learn how to read it.
And we're not talking about a short story here. No, this is a full-on biography. It captures every single touch, every test, every tiny component, right from the second it was just a pile of raw materials.
So how do manufacturers tap into that story? How do they pull up all that detail to make sure everything is safe, the quality is perfect, and the whole process is efficient? Well, that's the big question we're digging into. To unlock a product's story, you first have to understand two really fundamental ideas. They're kind of like the Rosetta Stone for manufacturing: traceability and genealogy. They sound a little alike, but they show you totally different parts of the narrative. Okay, first up, traceability. The easiest way to think about this is like a GPS for the product on the factory floor. It's all about the here and now. It answers those immediate questions like, where is this part right now? Or what steps has it been through already? It gives you that critical moment-to-moment transparency. But then, you have genealogy, and this goes so much deeper. If traceability is the product's journey, then genealogy is its complete, unabridged history. It's the product's entire family tree, its whole life story. The source material calls it the digital DNA, and honestly, that is the perfect way to describe it. Putting them side by side like this makes the difference totally clear, right? Traceability is the journey, the where and when. Genealogy is the history, the who, what, and how. One gives you a live snapshot, the other gives you the entire photo album, from birth to now. And in a modern factory, you absolutely need both. So how in the world do they build this incredibly detailed digital DNA? Well, it all happens by capturing something called a digital footprint. And they do it at every single step of the process. Let's take a look. Every action, and I mean every action, gets recorded by the factory's central brain, what's called the Manufacturing Execution System, or MES. So a product shows up, an operator scans it, a machine does its thing and reports back its data, and boom, a new digital footprint is recorded. For something complex, this can happen hundreds, maybe even thousands of times. And when you stitch all those little footprints together, you get this, the genealogy tree. Just think of it as the master file for the product. It's a complete visual map showing the main product, every single component that went into it, every serial number, every operation, and every single test result. It's total, complete visibility. Okay, so having this perfect digital history is pretty impressive. I get it. But what's the actual payoff? Why go to all this trouble? This is where it gets really interesting, because this data affects everything from massive product recalls to the future of robotics. Let's make this real. Think about a car's engine control unit, the ECU, basically its brain. The system doesn't just record that it was built. No. It records the exact lot number of the circuit board, the specific software version that was flashed onto it, the precise torque value for every single screw, the temperature during the soldering process, and even the ID of the person who did the work. The level of detail is just wow. And here's why that insane level of detail is a game changer. It lets you analyze the data in two directions. With backward traceability, if your car's ECU fails, the company can instantly trace back its entire life story to see what went wrong. But the real magic is forward traceability. Let's say they find a bad batch of microchips. They can instantly identify every single car in the world that has a chip from that one bad batch. I mean, that's huge. It turns a potential disaster into a precise surgical recall. And it's not just for putting out fires. This data is the lifeblood of a modern factory. You use it for quality control, for getting to the root cause of any tiny little problem, for handling warranty claims, for proving safety compliance, and maybe most importantly, for constantly making the entire process better. Every decision is backed up by cold, hard data. And this is where it all starts pointing to the future. This massive library of product histories, it isn't just for looking back. It becomes the fuel for what we call Industry 4.0. When you feed all this data into AI, factories can shift from just reacting to problems to actually predicting them. They can know a machine will fail before it happens. They can build digital twins, perfect virtual copies of the factory, to test out changes.
This is the leap from fixing the past to actively designing a better future.
So let's just boil it all down. Traceability tells you about the product's journey, the where and the what. Genealogy gives you its complete history, the how and the with which components. One tracks the present, the other unlocks the past, and together they are paving the way for the future of manufacturing. Which really leaves us with one last fascinating question to think about. If every single product we make can tell us its entire life story in perfect detail, what are the new questions we're going to start asking? What other secrets are just waiting to be told?